impressed me in the Madlanga Commission, I don't know.
Hello there guys, and welcome to the daily updates. A very busy day today in South Africa. When you focus on the Madlanga Commission and some of the things that are taking part in the country, well, I don't want to butcher this name. I just want to make sure that I've got it correctly. At the Madlanga Commission today, there was a prosecutor from IDEC by the name of Dhrushantha Ramsamy. And she was coming to give evidence in regards to the IDEC. Now, we did not really know what she's going to be giving evidence on. And oh boy, were we surprised when she started, because she's not on the team of Advocate Andrea Johnson. She worked with her. Andrea Johnson was the boss, but when she started, a lot of information came out which was opposing what Andrea Johnson told the commissioners at the Madlanga. Now, it is very important to look at the fact that Johnson is one of the people that at some point she was compared to Winnie Mandela. That is why we are making this video, because when Ramsamy was busy doing her testimony, on the other side, there was an EFF presser that was addressed by the leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, Mr. Julius Malema, and there was a question about Advocate Andrea Johnson. Of course, we all expected that the media will ask him about it, because since that comparison to Winnie Mandela, there's never been an opportunity to give Julius Malema to say that, well, you said this. What do you say now after the revelations at the Madlanga Commission? So this video basically focuses on the response from Julius, and also we look back at the ad hoc committee. So before we begin with that video of Julius Malema responding to the question of Advocate Andrea Johnson, I must really say that when it comes to politicians, I'm specifically referring to the ad hoc committee. When it comes to politicians, we must tread carefully, because politicians are more about representing their parties and less about the people who do not vote for them. So when the ad hoc committee came, it was about them appealing to the masses to show them that, well, our party is visible. Look at us. This is what we represent, rather than them going directly into the evidence and making sure that they're exposing whatever rot that is coming out. Well, I'm saying this because when you look at a person like Advocate Andrea Johnson, she went to the ad hoc committee, but after going to the Madlanga, we now see that that ad hoc committee was a very fruitless expenditure. Now, let us not waste any time and go into that video of Julius Malema when he was responding to the journalist on the question of Advocate Andrea Johnson. Please have a listen.
Views will be expressed as it were. My comparison to Winnie Mandela, it was in relation to what she presented at the ad hoc committee. The ad hoc committee and Madlanga Commission are not the same thing. And they don't use the same style of investigation, the same style of interrogation. She might have impressed me at that ad hoc committee and impressed me in the Madlanga Commission, I don't know. Or in the Madlanga Commission, she might have said things that were not put forward in the ad hoc committee. And therefore, to compare the two will actually be unreasonable. The reality of the situation is that you are going to have two reports. There's going to be Madlanga Commission report, and there's going to be ad hoc committee report. They may not say the same thing. They may say the same thing.
Of course, that is the good old Julius Malema's response as a response to that question of Advocate Andrea Johnson. Well, I look at that, and before I go any further, I want to pull that video from the ad hoc committee when Julius Malema was asking questions to Advocate Andrea Johnson, and look at that comparison that Julius Malema made of comparing Advocate Andrea Johnson to Winnie Mandela. Please listen to this.
Corruption, and I'm not going to have people who are behaving in a corrupt manner in this office.
I agree with you, Honorable Malema. However, there were these processes that were taking place. And so I was waiting for that. I've got to deal with the ad hoc committee, deal with the Madlanga Commission. And like I said to you, there's no reason not to talk to Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. I didn't want it to seem as though we were trying to cover ourselves. There's nothing to cover in IDEC. And I'm sure if he has that information, and I do contact him now that I'm done with the ad hoc committee, that he would share that information. And if he does, we will then be able to act.
Advocate, the issue of your husband should never put you in a difficult situation where you start doubting your capabilities and your capacity. Sitting here, for me, this is quality leadership coming from a black woman. You answer questions properly, you give us information, well articulate. There will be more challenges. They come inherently with being a female leader. We all have, issues that we might not have handled properly. It's part of growth. It's part of becoming more experienced and then dealing with matters differently going forward. And when you live here, this should never, I heard you saying I'm very angry, it must never be one of the issues that are going to distract you from fighting crime and fighting corruption. You came here, we shared that information with you. On a hindsight means I'm more clever now, and you should take it in that spirit and continue to fight. I thought Winnie Mandela died, but Winnie Mandela has multiplied. Thank you very much.
I receive. Thank you.
You know, after listening to the video, we can really give the benefit of the doubt to Julius Malema to say that, well, at that time, he probably didn't know much about Winnie Mandela, of course, Advocate Andrea Johnson. He probably did not know a lot about him. You have to focus on the fact that Julius was talking about the work that Advocate Andrea Johnson is doing at IDEC. And we can say he did not know much about the allegations and the fact that he was not really doing a good job. He focused on what he knew by that time. So we can give him the benefit of the doubt. What I'm not going to do is to say that, well, he is correct by saying what he says lately. I am not going to go with that answer he gives of saying that my comparison was on the presentation that she gave. Firstly, the ad hoc committee did a terrible job by making sure that they exposed the rot that is going on. And you have a leader of a party saying that, well, with the great job that you do, I'm comparing you with the likes of Winnie Mandela. Of course, I said that at that time he probably did not know. But of course, now you definitely know that she resigned.
So they all depend on the facts that were presented and the evidence that was presented before the two committees. I never get an opportunity to interact with Khan. I know Khan, and I've already made it very clear, I know Khan. He was shot, and then we were told he's in a hospital, he can't speak and all of that, and I left it at that. If any call which I made was to Mohammed, you see, said that the mention was talking to Khan in the WhatsApps. That's the man I called. I said, what's happening? Did they really shoot this guy, or what is the story? Because others say he was shot, others say he was not shot. No, he said, hey brother, he was shot, that guy. He's in a hospital. How did they shoot him on the leg? He says, no, they didn't shoot him on the leg. They shot him on the chest or something. But I had your information when I was speaking to Mohammed. And Mohammed had a clear, elaborate information of what happened and so on and so forth. And I left it there. Because I couldn't go and see him. I can't call him. I can't do anything until Madlanga has done his work. If there's anything wrong that Khan has done, the Madlanga Commission must take him on. It's wrong for that young man of MK to say, I prevented Khan from coming to the other committee. I never did that. I asked the question, on which basis are we calling Khan? Whoever said we must call Khan should have given the reasons why, because I had no reason to call Khan. So I shouldn't ask you a question when you say, let's call Khan, and I ask you, why? Why should you call Khan? Foolish as they are, they can't reason. They keep quiet. They run away. They don't say anything. And then Khan doesn't get called. They blame it on me, as if I was running the committee alone. I'm not the type you will say things I don't question. I will question.
He made a point about the fact that he doesn't get a chance to go and follow the Madlanga Commission, but surely he knows about the fact that she resigned and there were some of the things that they exposed in regards to her work and that she was terrible at doing her work. There are no accolades that you can give to her, because anything that you say positive about her, we must erase that because it has been exposed. Now, many would have expected Julius to come and say, well, based on the fact that I've compared her to Winnie Mandela, I did not know by that time, but because now things are coming out and the fact that she resigned, I feel like it was a misjudgment. It was ill-advised of me to compare her to Winnie Mandela. He doesn't do that. He goes to a point to say that Madlanga and Ad hoc are not the same and that they did not have the machinery to do the investigation the same way. Hence, some of the comparison would have come out of that Ad hoc committee. That we get, but a little, I retract, or I feel like it was a misjudgment on that comparison would have been accepted, because at the end of the day, what we have seen or listened to in the past few weeks is rather shocking, to say the least, because Advocate Andrea Johnson was heading IDEC, a very big organization like IDEC that she was heading, but when the revelations come, it shows that she was rather working the opposite of doing the good work. That is why when you look at the fact that this person was compared to Winnie Mandela, it is a shame to look at it, because there is no way that that individual that you look at and listen to the evidence, you can take your time and say, this is the next Winnie Mandela. With that said, I do want to say this. When Ramsamy was giving her testimony, there were at some point when she was referring to Andrea Johnson as Mama, and they did ask her, why are you keep on referring to her as Mama? And Ramsamy said that, well, aside from her work, she's a good person. She was there when I was not feeling well, when I was sick. She's such a good person that the work that she does at IDEC overshadows that good heart that she has.
Thank you, Chair, Commissioners. Ms. Ramsamy, you refer to Advocate Johnson as Mama. Why is that? You can switch on your mic.
When I started with ID, before it became IDAC, Advocate Johnson was the head of office. And we had a choice between calling her ID or Mama J. And I respectfully call her that because she's not a bad person. She's not. She's, when I got sick, she was there. She was she's kind. It's just the work ethic that I have a problem with. And so I respectfully call her Mama.
One could say, well, maybe Julius knows that side of a good heart. He doesn't know that side of fumbling at her work. That is one positive that you can get from it. But let us shift from the side of Julius Malema and the mom Winnie and focus on this important part to say that, we have a big problem in South Africa, and I think we are on the verge of solving that problem, because to solve a big problem, you must start by identifying where the rot is. They've done that. They've dismantled what we called IDEC. As of now, we no longer have IDEC, because as time goes, we can definitely expect that Andrea Johnson will be arrested and she's going to appear in court. Now, as we are dismantling that we call IDEC, we must really give props to the people that are working hard to make sure that they're doing their job and not doing side hustles, because what we are seeing now are side hustles. It has been revealed that the team of General Dumsani Khumalo and the police commissioner, General Fanny Masemola, those people were targeted, because even at some point, Madlanga did give it to Advocate Andrea Johnson to say that you must admit that that judgment that you had or you made against Fanny Masemola for his arrest, it was miscalculated and you guys were wrong, and she did concede to that.
That's a valiant attempt, but I do not think it takes you to a pass mark. Let me make a very cruel example and say, let us say all of the people that General Masemola is charged with were dead, all of them. And therefore, there was no question of them being charged with all the offenses, with any of the offenses you are seeking to rely on, and to suggest that General Masemula's charges are additional to. So General Masemula then has to be charged under the PFMA all by himself. So what would the PFMA charges be additional to? What would the PFMA charges be additional to? Nothing. You get my point.
Yes.
So it's on that basis that I say your attempt to just force the PFMA charges being additional simply does not work. Do you agree? It doesn't. It doesn't. Because all that General Masemula is charged with are the PFMA offenses. So when you look at him, those offenses, insofar as General Masemula is concerned, are not additional to anything, are not related to anything. It's just those PFMA offenses only. And you cannot force the additional by merely relating to charges faced by other people, charges that have nothing to do with him whatsoever. And the cruel example I give actually makes the point abundantly clear. Do you agree?
I agree, it makes the point.
You jump from that, you look at the fact that there was a phone call between Ramsamy and Advocate Andrea Johnson. She was busy testifying. She would then appear in the next day, but she had the audacity to take that call Ramsamy and discuss some of the matters, knowing very well that the matters that she's discussing are very sensitive. To that point, she even goes to criticize the Madlanga commissioners. What a terrible mistake, because she never realized that I might be recorded. With that said, I want you to listen to this recording of about 12 minutes between Ramsamy and Advocate Andrea Johnson, just to look at the kind of audacity that we are talking about when we say this person is not a person that you can really compare to Winnie Mandela. Please listen.
Hi, Adv Johnson. Hello.
How are you?
Fine, and you?
Well, they put me through the cases for the section 2813 on
diversion.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't been watching. I've been so busy.
Yeah. Don't worry. I think they're going to call you.
Oh, God.
I'll come and tell you why.
Mm.
You'll have to figure out how you don't go. Okay. So they said to me, I must tell them step by step.
Mm.
I said, I get the 2813. Usually we give it to a team. Santosh is the deputy, but I give it to Drew.
Yeah.
You use it to compile a section 2813.
Mm.
Now they're saying when they look at the 2813,
Yeah.
must just check, the annexure that has all the names of the people, annexure A, it has all the suspects. Now
Yeah.
When you look at the 2813,
Mm.
you could only really make out Kumalo, maybe Madondo and Lushaba.
Yeah.
Where did you get all the other names from?
That page that you gave me, the names were on that page that you gave me, the one in the folder, the one in the handwriting on the pink purple page.
Where would we have got those names from?
I don't know, you gave it to me on the morning just before I rushed to court. You gave me the 27 referral and the names on the handwritten page.
Because they are asking me where you got the names from, and I'm saying, I'm not sure. Because I can't remember to share for me. I can't remember either.
No, I remember distinctly, because that's why I also put it in my email, where I received the 27 referral and I received that piece of paper with handwriting, and it was the suspects that was written on there. And you explained to me that the suspects was after Dylan had consulted with Fadil. That's how the list came about.
So Dylan would have consulted Fadil before you did the 2813
Before I did the 28, yeah, before I even received the 27, the list was compiled on that page with the handwriting, and you had indicated that Fadil and Dylan had consulted, and that's where it came from.
I'm going to have to speak to Dylan. He can't remember half the things.
But it's on my email.
Because I say I've now abused my power by authorizing other people's names that are there.
I don't know what to say, Mama, because I specifically remember, and it's also on my email, because after you phoned me last night, I went and found that email where I explained what I received from you and what I returned to you.
And
Mama?
Section 28.
Mm-hmm.
13. You would have brought an application, would you not?
You asked me to email it to you. Remember, I was in court with Speaker Matter, and then you asked me to email it to you that evening so that you can sign it the next morning.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, so I signed the authorization.
Yeah, the 2813 authorization.
Yes, but did you put an application together for the authorization? How did we, what I'm trying to get at is, remember, for us to authorize Drew, usually we just put a thingy with a short summary of facts.
Yeah, but you told me not to do the mandate memo. It was just I'm just opening my laptop for you now, 1 second. What date was it, Mama? The 5th or the 6th?
I signed on the 6th. It should be 5th.
Okay. I'm just checking now. Why can't I find that email? No, I think I didn't do that. I think the facts and all of that was covered in the email I sent.
27.
Yeah, in the 27. And then remember, I did a summary of the 27 and the dockets that we collected. And that is when I said to you, I need to consult with Fadil because...
Wait, remember, wait. Remember, Drew, the authorization is the 6th of December. Y'all got the dockets on the 9th of December. So you wouldn't have had the dockets.
No, I didn't have the dockets. We only received the dockets because on the 6th, you sent the letter to Sentumule.
Yes,
yeah.
That is what I'm saying. So what would you have based, and that's what I'm trying to get to. You based your facts on the section 27.
Correct.
Did you check to anyone before that, or did you base your facts on anything else for us to have those other names?
It was on the page that you gave me. That's why those names are there.
And how do we arrive at some of those other offenses like forgery and uttering and...
Forgery and uttering, we generally put in our 28.
That's how I explained it, but he said, I have abused my power by doing that.
No, it's a standard thing because out of fraud, we get forgery and uttering.
And that's what I said. When you look at that one paragraph where he says the alleged manipulation of procurement processes, that with the PFMA and fraud, almost invariably, there is forgery and uttering.
Yeah.
And that if we don't put it in, then we can't deal with it.
And remember with the
So what they're doing is, they dissect word for word.
Yeah, that's why I stopped watching.
Yeah. Today I must have been the dumbest lawyer South Africa has seen.
Are you done for the day?
Yeah, I'm actually feeling sick. I got sick last week, remember?
Yeah.
And I had a panic attack. So for the first time, I'm taking meds for it. And after a while, I just felt I was zoned. And I realized I wasn't even paying attention.
No, but to answer your question, the names that I obtained or placed in the 2813 was the page with your handwriting and the names of the suspects. And then when I asked about it, you said that you, Dylan consulted with Fadil, and that's how the names came up.
I must talk to Dylan. If we have to have a quick WhatsApp call later, is it okay with you?
No, that's fine. I'm free.
Yeah, because, otherwise I'm very confused because they need to know from me tomorrow. Where did I get these names? And I need to understand where did I get those names. Now, it's fine if you say you got it from me, but I don't know where I got it from.
What you told me is that Dylan obtained it after consultation with Fadil. That is my understanding of it.
Okay. All right. I have to speak to him. I have to speak to him because he must have notes somewhere.
If you look at my emails, ask him to check the emails.
My laptop was stolen, so my laptop was stolen in January last year, so I've lost lots of my stuff.
But ask Dylan to check because he has his emails on his phone. There's an email between him, you, and I about the names as well as about the documents, the ones that were slotted in under Fadil's door. So there was a trailing email between us. He should remember.
Okay. I'll talk to him, and then if you don't mind, we'll chat a bit later on. Or else, I go there. I've already now abused my power by not asking where these names came from. I said to them, you know what, maybe I had a discussion with you. I just can't remember right now. And which would then be true. Drew, we had a discussion.
Yeah.
If you say that there was this paper. But where did this paper come from? Where would those names have come from?
That was what our conversation was. It came from consultation with Dylan and Fadil, and then you had written it down. Yeah.
Okay.
All
right. I'm going to talk to him, then you and I will check it. But thank you. I'm sorry, but they asked me for the name of every person who's dealt with the matter.
No, it's fine. I don't even know what's happening. I'll be very honest with you. I stopped watching because we are so busy with preparation for blue lights that I just don't have the time to listen.
And don't watch because it will really, if they call you, you leave the country.
Okay. Oh God. Okay.
It's not what you know.
Okay. No.
Today I didn't know section 28. I didn't know section 27. I know nothing. I'm as dumb as two bricks.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But it's okay because, you know what? Whether we like it or not, they're going to make our names shit anyway because you can just see. Especially when, remember he's a judge. For him to make a comment, oh, well, this is basic law 101. I'm surprised you don't know it with your 30 years experience.
Oh, I don't even know what to say to that.
Exactly. And he's doing it, and he makes faces. They laugh with each other while you're still answering. It's so unprofessional.
Yeah, I don't want to go there.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what we're all going to do, but it's just going to be a shit show. But I'm going to talk to Dylan quickly.
Okay, but ask him to check my emails from, it must have been around the 11th, 12th or 13th of December because I went on leave on the 14th of December. So it would have been the 11th, the 12th or the 13th of December.
But he would have had to speak to Fadil after Fadil gave us the 27th, remember?
Yeah. No, his indication is that he had spoken to him in December, so it was late November.
Yeah, late November.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Fadil's 27 is dated 21 November. So he would have had to speak to him between 21 November and the 5th of December, because on the 6th we signed the authorization with these extra names.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm going to talk to him.
Okay, Mama.
All right, thanks,
Yeah, no
Drew.
problem.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Without a shadow of a doubt, the ad hoc committee was a waste of money. I mean, we're struggling with unemployment, and you have the ad hoc committee that dedicated money to sit for so many months only for them to do a terrible job that they did. Now, when you get the Madlanga, which unfortunately they are not willing to extend it for a longer period, when you look at them and realize that the rot has finally been exposed, you have to really be happy for what is happening to the country. And props has to be given to the President of South Africa, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, because he had a choice to fire that Minister of Police and then life continues as normal. But he did not do that. And people were criticizing him when he started to say that, well, commissions are a waste of money. So by doing this, you are still wasting money. Oh boy, were we not waiting for this, because the appointment of Madlanga, Baloyi, and Khumalo was an exceptional appointment together with the evidence leaders, because with that, we've finally seen the kind of rot that we have. IDEC is a thing of history. The rot and the corruption is finally coming out, and it is going to make sure that those who are put in leadership positions, they are not going to do it for their friends. They are going to do it for the state. Anyway, guys, I know we have opinions and some are going to disagree with what I said, but there is nothing personal. This is just to look at the fact that we have a problem in the country. What we are not going to do is to keep quiet when we see some of the things that are not happening the right way. We have to speak up about politicians or people that are not really representing the good ideas. Of course, give people a chance so that they can go back to the drawing board and see the light. If they don't do that, then they are not pro-South Africa, they are against it. But hopefully, those who don't see the light on what is happening at the Madlanga, they would open up and finally see that had it not been for the Madlanga Commission, we would just be sitting at home if you are not working, or if you are working, you keep on doing your job, not really knowing what is happening in the country under carpet, not really knowing about it, but you'd be reading or watching the news, seeing police appearing in court, not knowing that some of these people are being targeted for doing their work. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning into the channel, and please, if you can, become a member. Just click on that join button next to subscribe and become a member. Otherwise, you can subscribe, share the videos, like. Until next time. Cheers.